Scorpio and Scorpio cross watchers, to your singles and new love read for February 2023. So we're going to get where you are, where you're headed, and what you need to know or what's hidden. And then we're going to pull from a different deck for the next love interest for Scorpio Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. And that will be timestamped in the description box below. So I do apologize. I think I'm getting sick, so I might be clearing my throat a little bit more than I'd like to. But if that's going to annoy you, I'm just letting you know ahead of time. So welcome everybody. I hope you guys have had a great week. And that your weekend is shaping up really well. Okay, cool. So we have the Eight of Cups is where you are. The Page of Cups is where you're headed. And the Devil is what you need to know or what's hidden. So Scorpio, I mean, it's clear that you have walked away from something. I feel like somebody may have kind of extended a bit of a peace offering to you here. So I'm just going to, I'm just going to move the camera a little bit. I feel like somebody offered you a peace offering here, and it's almost like they may have done it, and maybe they knew, maybe they didn't. I feel like they didn't know, but it's like you could feel that there were sharks in the water. I know it's probably supposed to be a bull, but it looks like a shark to me today. And I feel like you were like, nope, not getting in that kind of trouble for anybody. You know what I mean? And you just walked. I mean, it's really clear. I feel like I almost want to say the sun is setting on this connection, on this stage of life, I feel, for you. And I actually feel like you are all about the change that's coming. It actually feels like to, a different kind of sign. I feel like that change may be very disorienting, but because you are the sign of, transformation and rebirth, I actually feel like you are looking forward to shedding this skin. 100%. So here's the thing. Where you're headed is the Page of Cups. I feel like there is... okay. This card for me often means that, someone that you're involved with is in love with somebody else. But I don't really... It doesn't seem like you care about that sort of situation. So what I'm kind of feeling here, I'm sorry to say, I feel like there is somebody coming in that is, they don't have really good intentions with you here. It feels like this is the kind of person that, like, they're going to try to get some attention from you, but they're going to have they're going to be singing the praises of other people. It just kind of feels like this person is kind of a butthole, right? They just, and that's probably passing judgment on them, so I'm sorry if that is. However, somebody who is kind of, wanting to tie up your time while they're actually actively pursuing a connection with somebody else. It's like they just kind of want to keep you in the background, in their back pocket. I feel like this is the kind of person that, while they're in one relationship, if they can see that, they're not quite getting what they want out of it, or they feel that, this probably won't last, it's like they start to kind of work on something in the background so that they always have somebody. I feel like it actually comes from a place of lack, right? Excuse me. It's actually coming from them feeling like almost like they're just floating in the wind, almost without any direction if they don't have a person. I feel like this is somebody that may have really gorgeous eyes. I feel like they tell a story with their eyes. Their eyelashes also might be quite long. And I feel like at first, you may see this person as like, oh my gosh, they're kind of captivating. But there's a message here to be really careful, because what you don't know or what's hidden, it's like this person might come across as like, oh, this innocent little sorry, sort of character, but they're not. They got a lot of stuff going on. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they have, 4 or 5 people on the go. It means more that it's like this person, because they're tied up in knots, they will tie you up in knots. I feel like this person is really held back by a lot of their insecurities. But it's like when they have somebody new, they feel they have something new to focus on, and then they don't have to focus on themselves. Right? It's like that's why they always need a relationship. Because as long as their focus is on somebody else, they don't have to look at themselves. They don't have to look at who they are, what they've done, what they need to do, what their goals are. Excuse me. It's like they're just able to focus on everybody else. And I feel to a certain extent, you might not like this, I feel like this person seems to think that they're saving you. And I'm really trying not to hop up on my soapbox for you here because I feel like if I do, I might let some expletives out, which I'm trying not to do. So I don't know who they think they are, or what makes this person think that you need saving, because it's like, excuse me, you're already out of a situation. It's like you saved yourself. Thank you very much. But it's like this person, they seem to be somebody that it's like, because they need to have somebody in their life, they need people that are needy, if that makes sense. So it's like this person wants somebody, they're looking for the kind of person that is going to be codependent with them, that's going to lean on them too much, and it's like, and then they're in control, right? And it's like, and that way they can do like, oh, come close. No, it's too much. Come close. You know what I mean? It's like they'll be in complete control of the relationship. This person, almost because they have this really dreamy quality about their eyes, you may find them attractive. I feel like they might be somebody that you wouldn't usually go for. Excuse me. For example, if you're somebody that, hold on for a second. It's almost like you might see this person and be like, you know what? I don't think so. But then you get to talking with them and you're like, oh, okay, I'll give it a shot. And this is who they turn out to be. I do feel that this person, depending on how involved you get with them, they seem to be somebody that is, it's like not only are they easy on the eyes, but I feel like they know how to compliment people. And it's not just like, oh, you're good looking, or you're this, or you're that. It's like this person seems to see people's weaknesses and then capitalize on that. So for example, I'll just use myself as an example. For me, my smile was always a hang up of mine, because even as a child, people made a comment about how big my teeth were. And, I'm not angry. She was trying to be nice. This one lady was like, don't worry, dear, you'll grow into those teeth. I did, but only a little bit. Anyway, so I remember one time a partner of mine actually said, like, oh, you have a beautiful smile. And it was one of those things where, like, oh, it just kind of took a little bit of the edge off. It was a good partner at the time. Anyway, it wasn't all manipulative and ridiculous like this. But just to kind of illustrate that, so it's like, this person knows how to come in, and if there's something that, like, you're a little bit whatever, it's like, for some of you, you may have spilled something on your shirt. You can't see me, I'm like my chest here. It's like you may have spilled something on your shirt, and this person seems to make a comment that makes you feel, it just seems to lift the pressure off. And I feel like they are really good at that. I feel like if this person was in a lighter space, if they didn't have this kind of stuff following them around, they actually would be able to put so much good into the world. It just feels like when this person starts to feel like things aren't going their way, or they're going to be rejected or abandoned by the person that they're with, it's like they flip real quick from this person here that knows how to compliment you to make you feel, hold on for a second. I feel like it makes you feel really special, the comments that they make. It seems to, it's like, it tells you, like, whatever comment they make or whatever compliment they give you, it tells you that this person's really paying attention. You know what I mean? And like in a day and age where maybe not a lot of people do that, you really appreciate that. You appreciate that attention to detail. Unfortunately, they're kind of spreading this gift around, right? So I think we're gonna, this other deck, 1 second. Any advice for Scorpio with this person, or how to, advice for Scorpio? Advice. We have the Five of Wands here, and we have the Eight of Wands at the bottom. Or sorry, Five of Wands at the bottom of the deck, apologies, and then the Eight of Wands here. So that is 2 eights, actually, which often the 8 talks about, you know, abundance, essentially. I feel like when you walk away from whatever this is, you're going to be feeling so freaking good. It's almost like, it's like every step you take away from this garbage, it's like every step you take, you feel better and better and more confident and more confident. And it's like that, you know, slow stroll. It's almost like you can't help but take faster, bigger steps. And it's like you go from this slow walk almost into this full-on run. And it's not because you're running from or to anything. It's just exhilarating in and of itself to be alive. So the advice here, I'm hearing some expletives, so I'm going to clean that up a little. I feel like Scorpio, obviously you're going to make your own choices very carefully, right? And you guys are an intuitive sign. There is a message here to beware of somebody's eyes. It's like they may have these really gorgeous eyes that you can kind of get lost in. But I feel like they might be insulting to somebody. And it's like you're going to see this flash of this toxic energy in them. And you may initially, it's almost like because you're in this conversation and there's this thing, you know, this back and forth going between the two of you, or there's other people around, so that's like distracting. You may not assign much importance to that. And there's a message here to see what's interesting, like obviously to pay attention to that, but it's like what's interesting here is I feel like, you know how when somebody's like bad news, but they act like they're good news and you can feel it because you know what I mean? It's like you just know, oh, that one's going to be real bad news. I don't feel like you pick that up with this person. And I actually feel that the reason for that is that they genuinely don't see anything wrong with what they're doing. You know what I mean? It's like even when they get into this kind of controlling energy, I feel they're looking at it like, well, I'm just helping. Like they need this. They must need this direction because they're totally all over the place. So hold on for a second here. I feel like the advice here is that there's something is going to start really taking off in your life. And the message here is run with it. I mean, like, honestly, from what I'm feeling, it's like it's going to feel so freaking good that if you're worried about missing certain things or certain experiences as you're running towards, or you're just kind of running for the sake of exhilaration or whatever, keep going. Because I actually feel that it's like whatever it is that you'll find when you get there isn't there yet because it's on its way as well, right? But it's that energy of like, if you stop to shake every hand, you're never going to finish the race. Or I can't remember, I think the actual quote is, if you stop to throw rocks at every dog that barks, you'll never make it. Like, you won't make it to where you're going, right? And I feel like you're going to have no problem making that decision. It doesn't feel like it's going to be a challenge for you. I'm just getting this real, like, liberated energy, which I'm absolutely adoring. So I was going to actually pick a different deck, but I think I might just use this one. So for those of you with a Scorpio Sun, Four of Swords, who's the next love interest? Okay. So the Four of Swords usually talks about kind of taking a little bit of time to think, settle down, sort things out, almost kind of clear out the clutter, I want to say. I feel like this is somebody that is... Please take this in a nice way, because that's the way that it truly is meant. When you're not in a headspace that you want to be around people, I feel like you can be a little bit prickly, right? It's like, if you make it clear to people that you're not in the mood for any shiz, and they want to come and like chat and talk, and you made it clear that you don't want to, I feel like you can be a little bit prickly. And I feel like this person is prickly too. I feel like the two of you may be very, very similar. They may also even be a Scorpio. But whatever it is, it's like, I do feel that this person wants to... It's almost like they might be more of a homebody than you are. I kind of am feeling here that it's like, you went on this journey and you had to pull yourself out of it, right? I feel like this person, it actually feels like they might have had a soft place to land. And of course, that's a great thing, right? But it just feels like, it's like this person seems to want to relate to your situation, like they've had it as bad as you have, or something like that. You know what I mean? And it's almost like you seem to feel that they don't... I want to say, like, they don't really have an excuse to act the way that they do. And that doesn't feel like that's the similar energy between the two of you, right? It's like, there's something that this person does that they really have no business doing. It's almost like they want to act like they're from... Like, the tarot just asked me if it stuttered when it sent that first message to Four of Swords. I feel like this person's going to... They may see the connection, and I feel like they're like, you know what, I think I'm going to go home. And I feel like once they're home, they remember what it felt like to get their heart broken, and I'm just kind of seeing them not really exploring this. It does feel like a little bit of a rejection to you, but not in the sense that, you know, you fell for this person when they come in. I feel more that it's kind of like one of those moments where you recognize that, like, you and someone else are similar in a lot of ways. But I feel like at the end of the day, it's like you're kind of on this adventure. You're ready to take, you know, grab life by the horns, let's say. I was going to use a different word there. So you're going to grab life by the horns, and and off you go. And it's like, you kind of want to go on this adventure. And I feel like this person, it's almost like they become comfortable in comfort. I know that sounds strange, but it's like it's almost like they took a break from romance, from life, to rest and recuperate because they genuinely needed it. And I feel like now it's almost like they don't see a need to get out of it. It doesn't feel actually that it's like, that they're running from it or that it's a whole lot of fear. It just feels like, hold on. They seem to have this like initial like, oh, and then they go on radio silence. So it's why is this the next Page of Pentacles? The Three of Wands. Hold on for a second here. I feel like there's this kind of innocent invitation, and it's almost like either this person will stand you up or they'll ghost you, or it's like they won't respond for a while. You know what I mean? It's almost the energy of like, let's say the two of you have set up to have a coffee at 11 in the morning. And it's like 9 in the morning, you message them like, hey, we're still meeting, right? We're still good. More just to like check in. And they don't respond until like 2 in the afternoon and be like, oh my God, I totally forgot. So sorry. You know what I mean? But in actuality, it's like they saw it. I feel like they couldn't respond right away. But I feel like they just kind of decided to sit this one out. You know what I mean? So I feel like it seemed, at least when it started or when the two of you met, like a connection that might actually be interesting to explore. Excuse me. Excuse me. But I feel like at the end of the day, it just feels like more of the same BS. You know what I mean? It's just more of the people that kind of aren't even ready for this, and they shouldn't really even be, making dates. Excuse me. Excuse me. So for those of you with your moon in Scorpio, moon, so just hold on for a second. I think we're gonna get a clarifier here. Okay. So for those of you with a Scorpio moon, I just want to make sure that this might sound strange, so just bear with me. I actually feel like you may have been in a situation where it's almost like shiz went south real fast. And obviously you walked away from it. And I feel like there's somebody here that I know it's supposed to be new love, okay? So for that, I'm sorry. I'm just not so sure this is actually a new person. I feel like it's somebody that it's like they come in acting like, oh, I'm going to change. I'm going to this. I'm going to that. I'm going to be more open. I won't be so defensive. It's almost like, but then they say stuff like, it's almost like instead of them taking responsibility for, having some sort of reaction or kind of going off the deep end about something, it's like they're not going to say, sorry, I, was a jerk. It's like they're going to say, you know what, don't worry, I won't let you get to me anymore. Like, you know what I mean? It's like they're still kind of putting the blame back on you, but talking like they want to change. They seem to feel that that's going to knock your walls down. And it's almost the energy of, it's like there's no words you can express to this person that could convey the stupidity of the conversation. Not of this person, not of you. It's not talking about it, but it's such a waste of words and air and oxygen to even have this discussion. You know what I mean? It's like, I actually feel a little bit like this person, it's like there's no way that they could be foolish enough to think that they could come in and do this. It actually feels more like they're coming in to jerk your chain, right? It's like they're going to come in and be like, oh, Scorpio, I want you back. Let's try this again. But it's all your fault that it fell apart in the first place and I haven't changed. I'm just going to pretend like I did. You know what I mean? And you're looking at them like, that's not going to work for you. You know what I mean? It's like you already walked away from a cup that kind of had potential because there was too much risk involved. So it's like, why would you sit here and deal with this nonsense? So we are going to pull one more card for new love because that's what we asked about, right? So, and if the tarot doubles up on one of these cards, I feel like I'm going to have to start talking back. So, new love. So we have the Five of Cups at the bottom of the deck and the Justice card reversed. So, hold on for a second here. Oh, this one seems really wild. What I'm picking up from this, so the opposite on the wheel is, you know how like Leo and Aquarius are opposites, or like they're opposite each other on the wheel. I believe the opposite to Libra is Aries. Pretty sure. Yeah. And so it's kind of that like really fiery energy, but it's not balanced. So it's almost like it's a firework display that's malfunctioning. You know what I mean? And so it's like just spurting out for a bit and then it'll go whoosh, and then come down and then it's gone and you think it's fine and you're like, okay, I gotta get in there and unplug this, and then it goes again. It just feels like it's a whole lot of chaos. It's a whole lot of nonsense. I'm not really seeing much of, you know, and that's, let me be real clear. That's not to say that Aries are like that. It feels like it's the, how do I say this? I'm not trying to be unkind to this person. So let me say that first. It's really more to convey that it's not knocking Aries. It's like this is the worst kind of explosive, chaotic energy that an Aries can have, right? So it's like it's not a divine energy. It's the opposite. It's one that is it's like, have you ever heard that saying where the most dangerous lie is the lie that has a grain of truth in it? This person is dangerous because they seem to have this, it's like they seem to have some sort of connection to you, some sort of truth. It's like they're able to talk in a way that tells you that they've recovered, that they have, you know, come out of a really dark time and they're this and they're that. But actually it's like the part of them that's recovered is just their little toe that's sticking out here. It's like the rest of it is, it actually feels like it's utter chaos. And I feel like what's actually kind of creeping me out a little, making me super uncomfortable, is that they love the chaos. You know what I mean? It's like there's some people that suffer in the chaos and they don't want to live that way and so on and so forth. This person, they live for it. They pretend they don't like it. They pretend they hate it. But secretly, if they don't have it, they create it. So they can have that chaos. It's almost like, it's almost like a little bit of a Cheshire cat energy. So for those of you with Scorpio ascendant, couldn't even wait for me to finish it, but that's all right. Just jokes, I'm jokes. Okay, So we have the Knight of Pentacles, the Star, the Five of Pentacles, Sun, and the Ten of Cups. So, I'll be straight with you. I feel like this person does have a really good heart. I feel like they've really had kind of a roller coaster ride of a life. That's not to say that you have or haven't, right? It's just that's their story. I feel like this may be somebody that was really, really involved with somebody else in the past. And it's like maybe they had, either they were planning to or they wanted to build a family with this person. And I feel like it was something, it's like, you know what it feels like? I feel like this person in the past, we won't talk about their previous relationships for long, don't worry. It's like in their past, they may have been with somebody that was like a high school sweetheart and they were together for, since they were young or whatever. And like there's all this, it's like the families know the families and all this kind of stuff. And I feel like something fell apart there. I feel like your person, it's almost like maybe they did some work on themselves. I feel like they might have gone through this like coming of age. They did a whole bunch of healing. And I feel like, and then when they started to change and kind of morph into this, the best version of themselves, it's like people didn't like it. You know what I mean? I feel like they needed to take time for themselves and people didn't like that. They wanted this person to always be available to them. And your person kind of put themselves first. And I feel like to a certain extent, they kind of chose to be liberated from that energy over staying in it. Hold on for a second. And what's really interesting is I feel like your person is able to look back on that connection with, let's say the high school sweetheart. I feel like they're able to look back on it with a lot of fondness, a lot of affection, a lot of love for the good times that they had. But it's almost like, well, but I kind of have to choose my own happiness now is kind of the vibe that I'm getting from this person. So I do feel that they are interested in you. I kind of feel like they're expecting you to do the pursuing. I feel like this person, just a little bit, but I think they're a little bit full of themselves. You know what I mean? And it's like, I really don't want to knock this person for that because I feel like they may have been in a place where their whole life was about other people. And then they kind of swung to the other side and now it's like their head got a little bit big. I'm sure it'll kind of settle down, but it's like they're still on the upswing. I feel like it's not quite done. With them kind of getting a little bit, full of themselves sort of thing. Not arrogant, but it's like they kind of start to, it's like if they don't keep a handle on it, they might start to think their shiz doesn't stink. And I feel like if that's the case, and somebody kind of starts to act this like hoity-toity, I actually feel like if they pull that with you, it's almost like I can see you standing there with almost like a platter in your hands and looking at them and they're like, oh, no, this isn't going to work and that's not going to work. And you're looking at them like, I just made these hors d'oeuvres for you. And it's like you just drop the plate and like, I'm out. Because you're not putting up with that. And I want to be clear, it's not the tarot telling you not to. I'm seeing that you're not going to. I feel like you don't need anyone to tell you to do that. It just is something that you do because you're not going to be putting up with that kind of garbage from anybody. And I feel like because you're both in an energy where it's like you're both willing to cut out anyone and anything that will disturb your peace, if this person hasn't maxed out their, that energy of kind of being, I'm just realizing how big my hands look when I put them there. If they're not done kind of on the upswing of maxing out them kind of being, a little bit full of themselves, I almost want to say like, it doesn't feel like it's coming from arrogance or, I know it sounds strange, or them, you know, I want to say like, or them wanting to put other people down or something like that. It feels more that it's like, it's coming from somebody that is looking at the world through a skewed lens. It's like they genuinely want the best for people. And I feel like when they're on that upswing, it's like if people don't live up to a certain standard that they want, it's like they're not really able to wrap their head around the fact that maybe not everybody can do what they can do or can do what they expect. And I feel like that seems to be, if they're truly blind to that, I feel like they may not even have to do that to you. I feel like that in and of itself might be kind of a red flag for you. I'm just going to put this on your radar because I feel like it's for a very small portion of you. You will know, you'll feel it. I want to say like, but don't be suspicious. It's almost like don't go looking for it. You'll see it if it's there. This person may be a little bit hung up on their ex. Not so much that they want to go back to that person, but enough that they still, it's like they still mourn the loss. It's almost that energy of like this person didn't just have to walk away from, the high school sweetheart, someone they thought was the love of their life. It's like they're also realizing that, the world isn't what they thought it was going to be. It's almost that energy of they are having to redefine what their happily ever after looks like. And I'll be straight with you. Of course, you're going to make your decision for your life. I kind of feel like you're going to see it like they have a little bit too much work to do for you to be investing in them. So for those of you with your Venus in Scorpio, Two of Pentacles with the Two of Cups here at the bottom of the deck. So, Scorpio, what's interesting about the two of you is I actually feel like it's almost like you both notice each other's energy, but because you are, separately, but to an equal extent occupied with what you're doing, I feel like you're doing what you're doing because you're choosing to be, almost want to say like, you're choosing freedom. I feel like this person, it actually feels like they have been given I want to say, this might sound strange, an unreasonable amount of responsibility. It's almost the energy of like maybe they had to parent their younger siblings when they were kind of growing up. Or, maybe one of their parents was really ill and they needed to care for them. But whatever it was, it's like this person had to grow up really fast. And I feel like that may have put them in an energy where it's like because they were in a position where they had to take on problems that actually weren't theirs, that shouldn't have been put on them. I feel like and now that's not to say, okay, like families have to work together, of course. So it's not trying to pass judgment on, someone's parent being sick and them having to make whatever accommodations, right? I just wanted to say that. It's more about because this person, so much responsibility was put on their shoulders at a young age. I feel like when a problem comes along, it's almost their natural inclination to solve it or to take it on, to take that and put it on their shoulders. And I feel like they seem to be kind of finding themselves right now. I feel like to a certain extent, it's like the two of you may feel each other's energy. Excuse me. Excuse me. It actually just feels like neither of you wants to pursue it right now. If that makes sense. I feel like this person, it's almost like they're just about to hit the point where they have so much on their plate that they're going to make a change in how they handle themselves and whose problems they take on and how they, how they conduct themselves, right? It's almost the energy of like, let's say, for example, the two of you get together down the road but one of you is like, oh yeah, but I was interested in you back in the day or whatever, right? It's like this person would say to you, you know what? It's good that you didn't. I had a lot of growing up to do. It's that kind of an energy. So I really love this person's energy. I feel like there's somebody that um, they do their best to do right by people. It's like this is the kind of person that um, it's like if somebody's wallet was lost and there was thousands of dollars in it and this person returned it, not a dime would be missing. You know what I mean? And it's actually this might sound strange based off of what has been described already. It actually feels like it's coming from a place of having so much faith in themselves, you know, because so much was expected of them when they were younger because they had to grow up so quickly for whatever reason. I feel like because they were able to do that at a young age, they look at it like, well, if I could do that then, of course I'm capable now. Of course I don't need to take this from this person. I feel like they also know what it's like to work for their money. And of course we all do, right? That's not to knock anybody. I feel like this person is somebody that has had to, it's almost like they've had to do the work of two people their whole life. You know what I mean? It's like maybe if they went to college or university, they had to work full time or keep raising their siblings or keep caring for somebody. It's like they had a lot of responsibility. And it almost feels like when that responsibility is no longer there, when it's no longer something that is weighing on them, it's almost like they don't know what to do with themselves. They're so used to being almost in this pressure cooker that it's like someone took the lid off and they're looking up like, you gonna close that, or am I supposed to get out, or what? You know what I mean? It feels really good, really relaxing, kind of one of those moments where it's like they feel they can decompress. But in the same light, it's like there is that little feeling in there like, well, but I almost want to say something's missing, but it's not so much that something is missing. Excuse me. It actually feels more that it's like they're adjusting to having space in their life for new things, which is actually a little bit heartbreaking. So I think I'll leave it there, Capricorn. Sorry, that was my stomach. So if this reading resonated, I hope that it was helpful. I hope that it definitely brought you some clarity. Did I just say Capricorn? Scorpio. This is Scorpio's read. I apologize if I just said Capricorn. Anyway, if the reading resonated, I hope that it was helpful. I hope that it brought you some clarity. I feel for most of you it may have just been confirmation of what you knew already. But if you've made it this far, thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. I really love doing this channel, so thank you for making it possible for me. If you're new here, I upload mini weekly reads on Sundays, and then longer reads on Thursdays. And there will be kind of a special read for Valentine's Day, so if you'd like to keep an eye out for that, you can. Anyway, I will see you on the next one. Much love. Bye.